today's video, I review these two Artist Series metallic watercolor paints I got from Dollarama. I got them back at Christmas time and I get around to reviewing them a few months later. Actually, I just basically took 6 months to finish doing this because I had so many things to do. At any rate, let's test them out. They're Gansai style paint, which is more the Japanese style, and they appear to be very similar to the Mozart Komorebi or the Gansai Tambi paints. They're in the oversized pans, and they're really easy to get the brushes in there. Always pre-wet the paint, let it sit for a few minutes before using them for maximum opacity and effect. And here I made up all these color wheels and these swatch cards so I could show the mixing of the colors. And the colors on the first set I'm showing here is gold, rose, purple, blue, green, and charcoal. And the charcoal is a metallic black color. And I'm showing the mixing between the colors by going with more towards one side and slowly adding more of the next color until you get the full gradient along the line. A couple of these color wheels are supposed to be gifts, and the other ones are ones I keep for my own notes. The swatches that are on the rectangular sheets are the ones I just keep for my notes in my main swatches. I have a pile in paper protectors of swatches so I can quickly look through them and use them all the time. It lets me see what I'm working with. Now for things like these that are more opaque and look different on white paper and black paper, I also do swatches on black. But for a lot of my watercolors that are more transparent, I don't do swatches on black. A lot of my gouache, I haven't bothered to swatch on black either, even though it would be nice to see how opaque they are. It would just take up a lot of space and be a lot of work to also swatch them, but I am considering doing that. As I'm going through, I'm realizing that these are extremely high quality and I wish I'd tested them sooner. They work really well. I don't think they're quite as good as the Komorebi or the Gansai Tambi, but they're very close to as good. They definitely work really good on black paper, but they're a little streaky and a little translucent on the white paper. So not quite as good as the Gansai Tambi, not as good as the Fine Tech, and not as good as the Mozart, but they are still like really, really good quality for the price. So after doing these tests, I decided I'm going to try to buy more. And of course, the next time I went to the dollar store, there weren't any, but I'm going to keep an eye out for them. And I do recommend people keep an eye out for them and get them themselves. Now, there's always a risk when it comes to dollar store supplies. And I would say in this case, it's always better safe to assume there's something toxic in there. But there's toxic pigments in full artist grade paints fairly often as well. So the idea is just don't have open cuts. Wash off your hands as soon as you can after painting with them. And, don't eat it and don't inhale it. And you should be good as long as you're not going crazy and like drinking the paint water or inhaling the paint somehow. So in the centers, I mixed all the colors together to get a nice blend between all the different colors. For the second set here, it's actually very similar in color to the Mozart Komorebi set of 6, but it's not identical. The colors in this set is copper, bronze, silver, rust, and rust actually seems to match the gold from the previous set, but they just called it rust in this set. Then there's a gold, which is more of a lighter yellowish gold, and champagne, which is a very pale, slightly pinkish yellow gold. The copper is actually particularly nice, I think. Now, after completing these, and right now I'm looking at them, I'm flipping back and forth because I have them in the same book. The Mozart Komorebi 6 Classic Metallics are definitely higher quality. I remember when I paint with them, they flow even nicer, but also they're more solid and opaque on white paper. The look of these paints on black paper, however, is quite similar, but the Mozart Komorebi do look slightly better, and I'm quite certain the Kuretake Gansai Tambi Starry set is better as well. So there's that to consider. I'll ask you to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you're really enjoying my content. Upon checking my Kuretake swatches, I think they're actually a little streaky and not fully opaque on white paper either. So they're actually very similar to these. They may even be, it's very possible they're actually the same paints made at the same factory, but private labeled, white labeled, relabeled, or not. I do think the Mozart is slightly higher quality and the Fine Tech are slightly higher quality, although I do think it's still worth getting the Kurotake Ganshi Tombi Starry. But if you're in Canada and you see these paints, these are extremely worth the $2 price tag. They are really, really good for the price. They're not the best, but they are really, really good for the price. And I'm definitely going to be getting more backups, one of each if I can, if I see them again. But like I said, these, I picked them up for myself to spend Christmas money on way back, I think, November, October of last year. And I haven't been able to see them the last couple trips. So with dollar store stuff, often it's better to just get extra right away. The problem is I should have reviewed these sooner. I should have looked at them sooner, and then I could have made a better decision and possibly gotten the backup sooner. But I'm still glad I got them. And if I do see them, as I said, I'm going to pick them up. And now I'm just starting to really repeat myself. Now, the thing is that with these sort of metallic Gansai style watercolor paints, they do look very different on white paper and black paper. And every color of paper you use on in between will look slightly different as well. But showing the extremes in black and white really shows you the vast differences between the way the colors look when you're seeing them on white or you're seeing them on black. Everything will look slightly more opaque on the black, but it really depends on the exact metallic paint. Each metallic or iridescent paint is different, so I really do advise you do swatches both on white and black. It's really helpful for understanding how and when to use the paints. And after I did all these swatches here, I decided I needed to do an artwork. And I decided to do a semi-abstracted, pure metallic painting on black paper. And I've been playing The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and I love Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, which is definitely a source of inspiration for Tears of the Kingdom, and I decided to do an underground fungal world, which is partially based on Tears of the Kingdom, partially inspired by Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, and, you know, just my own stuff added in there, just a fungal forest. So I'm actually using a very pale, opaque green pencil here, a Prismacolor. I think Pale Sage it's called, something like that. And because I have the Faber-Castell dust-free erasers, I know I can erase, but I'm just trying to sketch it out pretty quick. I'm trying to get this video finished because I really need to get this video finished. And I decided I'm just going to draw all these things. I did a whole sketchbook page of research as well, actually 2 sketchbook pages of research, and looked at a bunch of reference of fungi and did a little extra research by watching videos about the history of fungi. There really was an ancient giant fungus, which is really interesting actually, that was discovered, and for a while they thought it was a tree or an algae or something, and then it took them like over 100 years to realize, no, actually this is a fungus. A giant tree fungus, which existed a very long time ago. It's like, oh, looks like these tree funguses from Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, and, you know, Tears of the Kingdom and stuff have basis in paleontological history, which just makes it more interesting to me. So these sort of fungal trees have sort of feather, leafy things, just invented swirly tips. And there's big puffballs and big fuzzy looking curved shapes, things based on much smaller fungi as well, and also the idea of fungal trees, which apparently did exist according to some of the research I did today. There's one in Tears of the Kingdom that also looks like it has peacock feathers. The fungal branches on it look like they're inspired by peacock feathers. I didn't include that one here. I included some of the hanging fungi on an overhanging rock wall above on the side there. I decided, hey, you know, it might be fun to do it just entirely in metallics and use as many different colors as I can to make this sort of rainbow metallic underground fungal forest. And I just thought, you know what, that's fun. And after doing a little bit of research and a little bit of sketching and stuff, it was a lot faster to do the final artwork, and I think it turned out better. But I focused more on the fun and the idea and the metallics than getting things to be realistically rendered here. And here's a final look at the piece. Once again, that's all for this video. If you like my videos, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to all notifications so you will know when a new video comes up. I aim for new videos every Wednesday, but sometimes life happens and things are delayed. I hope that you enjoyed this video and will see you with another one very soon.